This video will make the narcissist disappear. As you may be thinking, how can this video have the power to make a narcissist disappear? How is it possible that it can have that effect? But it can have that effect because by you watching this video, it will influence and affect you. It will change your attitude, behavior, and demeanor around the narcissist. Because it all starts by you realizing and remembering your worth, your value, the qualities and abilities that you possess, everything that is great about you. Because up until this point, the narcissist has been devaluing you. They've been putting you down, making you feel like you're worthless. But at some point, you just got to stop and think, why did they target you? Why did they want to be around you in the first place? Because I don't know about you, but for me, I don't want to be around anyone who is miserable, anyone who is low value, anyone who is going to affect me in a negative way or my life. I don't want to be around someone like that. And I'm sure it's the same for you. And this is why we have to stop and think, why did they target us? Why do they constantly have to be around us? Why do they desire to have power and control over us? Because it really doesn't make any sense. If something is so bad, I mean, just think for yourself. Would you desire to have unlimited power and control over a pile of shit? Over something that isn't worth anything? Of course, no one would. That wouldn't make any sense. In fact, what you would want is to get as far away from it as possible. But narcissists, they've always got to be around us. They can never leave us alone. I mean, that's not to say that sometimes they won't disappear. Maybe for a few days, sometimes even a few weeks. They may run off with their other supply. But even then, they're still keeping tabs on us. They still want to know where we are and who we're with. They've always got to know what we're doing. And you just got to think, what is the point if you have no value? You have no use to them. You're really as bad as they say. Doesn't make any sense. But by you watching this right now and realizing your value and understanding that that is why they have to be around you, they have to keep tabs on you. Because despite what they have led you to believe, you are actually a very valuable person. I mean, you just got to think of it like this. If you bought an old watch, maybe it cost you £10, maybe it was secondhand, didn't really mean anything to you. And one day you lost that watch. I mean, maybe you might spend a few minutes looking for it. but then you would quickly forget about it and easily replace it. It wouldn't take you long to find another one. But if you had a very expensive, valuable watch, maybe it's real gold, it's got diamonds in it, maybe it has sentimental value, it might be something that someone gave to you, something that's not easy to replace. In fact, it may be irreplaceable. You can't find another one. Something like that, you may search for it until the end of time. You may never stop looking for that watch. And it's the same thing with the narcissist. This is why they're constantly around us. They can't leave us alone. They always have to know where we are, who we're with, what we're doing. Because we're like that irreplaceable watch. We are priceless to the narcissist. And yet they make us believe that it is the opposite. That we're not worth anything, as though we are a liability to them. But I don't know about you, but why would you want to be around someone who poses as a liability, as something that you owe? In fact, we are an asset to the narcissist. And you've only got to look back to see how much they have drained you of your time, money, energy, and resources, to know that, yes, they have really been feeding from the fruits of your labor, while at the same time making you believe that you're nothing, when if you look at it, it just does not make any sense. In fact, the opposite of what they're saying is true. But by knowing this, because what you have to understand is that they want to keep you around them. They want to keep you under their control, where they can still get supply from you while you not realize just how valuable you are. Because that is the ultimate supply for a narcissist. It's to have someone who is very valuable and offers so many things to them, but at the same time, you don't even realize your own worth. So you're not expecting anything from them in return. You're just giving away all of your attention, validation, money, and resources for free. And you're just being completely drained. Which is typically what happens to us empaths. But this is how you make them disappear. By realizing your worth, your value, how much of an asset you are to them. Because when you realize that, you're going to start holding back on what you're giving to them. And you may be expecting something from return from them as well. And that's really the quickest way to get rid of a narcissist. If you loan a narcissist some money, the more money you loan to them, the longer it will be until you hear from them again. If you loan them a large amount of money, you'll probably never hear from them. Because they're only there to extract value from you. They have no value of their own. And I know they have no value of their own. Because with all of the tens of millions of views I've received on my videos, I can honestly say that I've never heard anyone say that they have received anything of value from a narcissistic person. That just doesn't happen. What I've heard is stories of victims who have lost everything of value in their lives and they never got anything back. Because narcissists, they have no value. And of course, that is why they want to be in an authoritative position over you. Because if it were the other way around, what could they do for you? Nothing. So if they can maintain that position of power and control over you, it works for them, it benefits them, because they could just sit back, they don't have to do anything, and you're doing all of the work in an effort to please and satisfy them. And they just keep you looking at yourself. You self-loathe, you keep trying to be better for them without even realizing that you are already light years ahead of them. I mean, in many cases, even if the narcissist at 1,000 years on this earth, they still could not maintain to the level that you have achieved. And yet you're so deep in the lies and the gaslighting, you don't even realize it. So of course, once you start to realize your worth, they are out of there. Because they already know there is no possible way that they can ever repay you for everything that you have done for them. They already know that there's no possible way that they could ever do that. It would never be enough to where you finally feel satisfied as though it was a fair exchange. And they already know that. And not only that, but they already know from the point that they devalue you. Of course, they already know when they're maintaining this position of power and authority over you. They already know that this is nothing like what you want in a relationship. Of course, they already know that. They know you don't want to be with some hard ass who is always telling you what to do. They've always got to know where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. They're never leaving you alone. They're always bossing you about. I mean, who wants to be with someone like that? You just want to chill and have fun. You don't want to deal with all of these arguments every day. I mean, that's no fun for anyone. But for a narcissist, it is. They thrive in that type of environment. But even while they feel comfortable in that and they're thriving in it, they already know that's nothing like what you want. I mean, as empaths, especially as men, we desire something more softer, something that's not constantly in our face, where it's always demanding attention and they're just constantly barking at you, never leaving you alone. I don't think any man wants to deal with that. But these narcissists, they find us, they see that we're very strong, we're able to put up with them, and then they feel like they've got something good with us. Because they already know most people don't want to put up with that. Most people don't want to be bossed about. They want to live their life in the way that they choose to. They don't want someone else coming in and taking control over their life. I mean, with women, it might be a bit different. Of course, I'm sure some of the women who are watching this right now, those of you who are in, yes, you may desire a young man who could be a leader in your life. I mean, I'm sure that's how many of you found my videos. Because I'm fulfilling something that the narcissistic man in your relationship gave to you. There was no strong leadership, which you desired and craved. There was no direction. It was just constant chaos and dysfunction every day. You never knew where it was going. So yes, it can be different depending on whether you are a male or female victim of the narcissist. But either way, they knew that that was not what we wanted in a relationship. So from the very beginning, they already saw it as something temporary. They already knew that we weren't looking for that. We weren't looking for that at all. And of course, that is why they displayed the false character. And I've experienced this myself with several narcissists. They portray themselves as these kind, empathic people. And then I later discovered that that was the exact opposite of who they were. They were nothing like that at all. They were highly narcissistic. And then when I started to figure that out, they already had one foot out the door. Because they already know men, especially empathic men, we do not want women like that. We do not want women who are so controlling, envious, jealous, competitive. Women who boss us about. I'm sure many men in this live chat can relate to this. And as for the women who are watching this, you want a man who has some direction in his life. He knows where he's going. He's got a purpose. He's motivated. And hopefully you can already see a clear pattern of success in his past. But whether you were dealing with a male or female narcissist, it's still the same. They present this false character in the beginning, but no matter how long you're with them, they can never live up to it. And you end up doing all of the work until you finally watch a video like this, you realize your value, your worth. And then when it changes your behavior, your attitude, your demeanor, then they're about ready to take off because they know their time is up. They can only display the false character for so long. And then when you start to catch on, they start to devalue you. They target your self-esteem to make you believe that you're not deserving of them, when in fact you are more than deserving. You deserve someone who is a million times better than that. And that is what they don't want you to know. But as soon as you know it, they're off. They disappear. Because deep down they already know, they already knew from the very beginning. They knew that they could never be good enough for you. They already knew that, and that is why they displayed the false character. I mean, just think about it like this. If someone knows that they are really good enough for you, they're just going to stop playing this false character and they're going to show you exactly who they are. If there is anything to them, if they have any value. And if they left, they're going to find a way to come back. If there is a possible way for them to come back, they will come back. And they will do everything in their power to make it right, to fix the situation. No narcissist is ever going to do that. And it's not because there's something stopping them from doing it. It's because they can't. Narcissists are very weak, insecure people. They have very low self-esteem. And they have no inner sense of value. And of course, that's why when you're around them, when you're trying to understand them, you're listening to them, you're trying to see things their way, but all you get is the gaslight and a word salad. And you feel like you're just being sucked into a void. And that's their void. Because there's no value inside of them. As long as they're around you, all that they do is suck the value out of you. They suck out all of your energy. And in the moment, it might give them a 2-second high. It gives them that little bit of narcissistic supply. But then it fades away and then they return to their normal state. Which is why the abuse never ends. They have to continue to abuse you. Because they're feeding off you. You are their host. They are a parasite. They're a leech. So they're living off you energetically. And it's just too overwhelming for them by the end of it. With everything that you've done for them. I mean, just think about this for a moment. If there was like a meter. You know, some of you might have these energy meters in your home. It gives you a reading of how much energy you've used. If there was like a meter to read everything that you've given to them, all of the time, energy, effort, money, and resources that you invested in them, and then everything that they invested in you, and then you compared the two readings to see how much they owe to you, to balance it out, it would be so overwhelming for them. If it ever came down to that, they would probably just grab a gun and shoot themselves in the head. Because they would already know there is no possible way, even if they lived 1,000,000 years on this earth, they could never measure up to you and your worth and the value that you have provided to them. But remember, narcissists are cowards, so they're not going to face things head on. Instead, they're just going to run away. They're going to ghost you. They're going to run off and find some new supply as soon as you realize your worth. As soon as you realize what you're owed, what you deserve. They're going to be gone, ghost. They're going to be out of there. And in many situations, you may never hear from them again. But you should be glad if you don't. You should be very glad if you don't hear from the narcissist. Because all they're going to do, it doesn't matter if they try to hoover you, if they try to come back. I don't care if you get all of the fake apologies, the false epiphanies. It doesn't matter if they're on their hands and knees begging you at your door. It's not going to make a difference. It's manipulation, it's an illusion. It may look like they have some potential, but they have nothing. They have no value at all. They are completely worthless people. You've only got to look back at the people that they've dealt with in their past and see, did anything good happen with them? Because if someone has any value at all, as you look back at the people in their past, they're going to have experienced something good. I mean, I know myself with the narcissist that I dealt with in my past. I invested so many years of my life, just wasted on them, and I never got anything back. I lost hundreds of thousands of pounds. I almost lost my business, everything. I gave them everything I had because I am a high value person. I provide value to thousands, tens of thousands of people around the world every day. But narcissists, they have no value. And it doesn't matter how long you wait around, hoping that they're going to change. It doesn't matter how many of my videos you watch, and you think you finally found the answer, you found the missing piece to the puzzle, you figure them out, now you can get them to change, you can get them to understand. That is never going to happen. The narcissist is never going to change. They are always going to be that way. And if it doesn't work with you, they're going to run off and find other supply. Or they may just find other narcissists who know exactly what they're like and what they're about, but they don't care. They have very low standards. They can accept it. They can tolerate it. And I'm sure many of you have seen that in family dynamics. Now, several family members who are all narcissists, they seem to mix and bond together. They seem very comfortable in that environment. The only thing they're not comfortable with is you, because you see right through them. You know exactly who they are. So of course, if you're dealing with narcissists in a family dynamic, of course they're going to scapegoat you and turn everyone against you, because they're all exactly the same. You are the only one who stands out. So of course they're going to take you down. But this, yes, sadly and unfortunately in this world, but this is how you know what to look for. If you want to find another person who is similar to yourself, just as narcissists find people who are like themselves and they bond together over our destruction, if you want to find someone who is more like you, trust and believe that they're probably going to be alone. And they may be scapegoated by their entire family. They may be isolated. They may have no one, because that is typically how it goes. True empaths, people like ourselves, they're not going to have too many friends, if any. They're going to be completely alone. And that is how you know what to look for if you are seeking someone who is similar to yourself, rather than another narcissist. Because as we know, these narcissists, they're the life of the party. They're business owners, CEOs. They've got all of these enablers and flying monkeys. True empath, they tend to be alone. And typically, as many of you who are watching this will already know, the empath, the good, kind, generous, considerate person like ourselves, that person is normally scapegoated by their entire family, and often even their entire community. So even if you do manage to find another empath, and I hope that you do manage to find that, the odds are that it's just going to be you and them. There's not going to be anyone else involved, unless it's just other narcissists who are targeting the both of you. But believe it or not as well, the narcissist that you were dealing with, it's probably exactly what they want as well. The last thing they want to see is you being with another narcissist, someone who could pose as a threat to them, someone who has their own other narcissistic family members or friends, their own group of enablers and flying monkeys, all of these connections. They don't want you around someone like that. So believe it or not, they would probably hope that you do find an empath like yourself, someone who is isolated, alone, scapegoated by their entire family, their community. They'd probably be quite happy with that. But that should be what we want as well. We should gravitate to someone who is more like ourselves. But yes, just by watching this video, the narcissist will disappear. They will be about to take off. Because as I said, the last thing they want is someone who realizes their true worth. They don't want to be around someone like that, because that's no good for them. If you realize your worth, and then you're trying to tell them what to do, remember, they have no value. What can they do for you? Nothing. So they've got to be in control of you. But as soon as you start to realize your value, your worth, your power and capabilities, as soon as you start to emerge from the fog, then they know it's time for them to go. Because they can't be around someone like that. They have to be around other people like themselves, other people who have no value, people who are fake. Because that's the only way that they can survive. They can't be around powerful, empathic people like ourselves. Not once we know who they are and we realize our own worth. I just drove down from the mountains and then got a nice view from this condo. Now I'm moving more away from the mountains and coming back into civilization, more into the cities, hopefully see a few beaches as well. But what do you think of this room? It's quite cute. Got all of these Pokemon here. I've never actually seen a black Pikachu. I do have the yellow one in my luggage. I take it with me everywhere I go. I got it in Japan. And of course, Pokemon in Asia. Nala. She's kind of like a real life Pikachu. But yeah, this is it. This is all you have to do to get rid of the narcissist. The entire time they've just been sucking you dry, leeching off you like a parasite, stripping away all of your value, while at the same time making you believe that you have none. And that's just how crazy it is. But they're very good at doing that because we're used to that dynamic in our childhood. Many of you may resonate. You could to please your parents. You went to school, you worked very hard. You're trying to get all A's in your exams. You're trying to do well in sports. You're trying to do everything that they wanted. But no matter what you did, it was never good enough. And they never acknowledged just how great you are. So of course, when you become an adult, in adult relationships, it's easy for the narcissist to come in and create that same dynamic with you, where no matter what you do, and I've seen some real extremes, it doesn't matter how extreme it goes. You could be a billionaire. I mean, I know there's one billionaire, I can't remember his name. But even him, even though he's got private jets, super yachts, mansions and villas around the world, still isn't enough for his wife, who often cheats on him with much younger men. And it just goes to show there really is no limit. Even if there was a perfect person walking the earth, that person would not be able to satisfy a narcissist. So many of us, we have perfected ourselves, our abilities, to the point where in a normal relationship, it would probably be far too overwhelming for them. It's like they wouldn't know how to reciprocate anything back to us. Because to the point where we have been trying to please a narcissist, and it's like no matter what you do, it's never good enough for them. So then it's like when you come back down to earth, and then you're just involved with a normal person, it can be hard sometimes to just relax and not have to do everything. And when you meet another empath, you may find that they want to do things for you. They want to take care of you. They want to make you happy. They want to cook you food. Maybe they want to clean your clothes, everything. Make sure you're all comfortable. Because that's how it is when you do meet an empath. They will want to take care of you, just as we have ourselves for other people. I mean, I know that's what I did. I worked hard every day. I used to clean the house, wash the dishes, clean all of the clothes every day. I did everything, but it was never appreciated. And it never will be by a narcissist. No matter what you do, they will never be happy with you or anyone else. They will never be satisfied. But just remember, that's not your fault. You were not enough for them, and you will never be enough for them. But that has nothing to do with you, because just by doing a tiny fraction of what you did for them, that could mean the world to someone else. And when you find that, when you have it, when you experience it, then you will realize why it never worked out with them. They have a mental disorder. They cannot be satisfied. It's not like us, we could just be satisfied with the little things in life. Narcissists, does not work that way with them. They will exist in their old age, their entire life. It's just a lifetime of misery, a lifetime of stress and pain and blaming everyone else, a lifetime of never experiencing true happiness. And then we wonder why they can't be happy for us. Because they know it, they see it, we're experiencing something that they can't. They could never have that with us. But hopefully this will get them off your back. Realizing your power, realizing your worth, realizing that yes, you are a million times better than they will ever be. When you realize that, they are out of there, they are gone. They can only be around people who don't know their worth, or around people who have no value just like them. People who are just as fake as they are. They're quite comfortable around people like that. I mean, it's really like a group of alcoholics, drug addicts, criminals. They all feel very comfortable with each other. And it's because they all know that they are exactly the same. It's us, we don't feel comfortable around them. We are the ones who are always walking on eggshells. They are not walking on eggshells around us. They are never doing that. As long as they can make us doubt ourselves and our worth, they're very comfortable with that. But for us, it is a very uncomfortable experience. Because despite what they make us believe on the surface, deep down we already know that we deserve so much better. We already know that we do not belong around narcissists. Anyway, I hope this message is helpful. I know a lot of you are going through this, but the narcissist is just constantly badgering you. They're always on your case. They won't leave you alone. They're holding you up to these impossible demands and expectations. And at the same time, they're downplaying your worth, so it doesn't make any sense. But this is what you have to do to get them out, to get them to ghost you. Realizing your worth, your power. It's kind of like you've got a roach. You've got the repellent spray, just spraying it. They're gone. They run away. So yeah, I hope this video is helpful. I'm going to do some more work, get some sleep, and then up early in the morning, continue on my travels. So if this video resonated with you, you can give it a thumbs up down below to support it. And let me know what you think about it in the comments. Hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. And as always, I will talk to you in another video very soon.